Hello and welcome to my channel. Welcome to Dreamscapes Decoded Tarot. This is a video for the sign of Taurus, and cross watchers are welcome here. I encourage you to watch your other videos pertaining to your moon and your rising signs, as they could hold further messages for you. A little disclaimer before we begin: this is a general read and it's okay if it doesn't resonate. Just take what does and leave the rest. A little background about me: my name is Leanne Mahalia and I'm so excited to begin this journey with you. This project has been in the works for a very long time, and this is my very first round of tarot readings. Since I was young, I've experienced prophetic dreams and visions, moments of deep insight that often arrive before events unfolded and offering guidance, warning, or clarity. Over time, I learned to honor those messages and interpret the symbols that appear in both dream time and waking life. These visions have shaped how I navigate the world, and now I'm here to help you do the same. Okay? So the way that I read is intuitive, and Dreamscapes Decoded is a space where I blend intuitive messages, dream decoding, and tarot to offer grounded yet soulful readings. Whether you're seeking direction, looking for a deeper meaning, or just open to what the universe might be trying to tell you, you've found a home here. And I'm so grateful that you found your way to this space. Okay, so today, Taurus, I wanted to start with a few visions. For you, I didn't necessarily dream anything, but during meditation, what I did have was a vision. And it literally was a vision of water. And not necessarily anything being dropped into water, but it was the aftermath of that, the ripple effect that happened afterward. This is really interesting for me. Like, this is a very interesting sign. Because for me, it kind of pertains to a chain reaction of consequences that extend beyond our immediate circle, if you know what I mean. Kind of like how one act can produce a series of effects that ripple outward, impacting others in ways that may not be immediately visible. It's really interesting. On a spiritual level, I feel like this effect emphasizes the interconnectedness of all beings and the potential for even small actions to have a significant consequence for the spiritual well-being of both you and others. Yeah, it's really interesting how it's coming across. The water is crystal clear. It's beautiful. There's a lot of blue. But I really feel that this is something that I think that it's not necessarily a warning, but I feel that you just have to be a little bit mindful about your actions over the coming week. All right? Just be a little bit mindful. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I've already shuffled the deck, and I do that just to kind of like clear out the energy, but I'm going to give it one more shuffle. And I do shuffle off camera because I am very bad at shuffling, so I don't want you guys to make fun of me, okay? But yeah, it's just, it's refreshing as well, like that ripple effect. I feel like it's something that's, I feel that it's positive, but I do feel like it's something that can potentially have an effect on people around you. So I think, like, if you vibrate from a higher space, that effect is going to have a positive effect on the people around you. That's what I feel. Interesting. That's the first card. Nice. Taurus. Oh, Taurus. I knew that this one was going to be an interesting read. I kind of got that vibe when I started, especially with that vision. Let's put that there. This read is about how you present yourself in the world. I feel like there is a slight warning in this too. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I think it's just urging you to vibrate from a higher space. There's a path. It's either this way or that way. That's what I'm seeing here. There's a lot of pentacle energy. So, I mean, I think that like your money, your finances, everything is on point. I don't think that you need to worry about that. And I don't think that that's something that's kind of like relevant to this read either. I really actually think that this is talking about that ripple effect. And also, it's your effect on other people. That's what I'm thinking with this read. So basically, what I'm seeing here, you can take one road or the other. So okay, let me put it this way. You're at work. Okay, an example. You're at work and a coworker comes to you and you're extremely busy. You're there writing up a brief, like it's something that the client really wants today. In fact, they wanted it yesterday. You know what I mean? It's that kind of time crunch. And when this coworker comes to you, you've got two choices of how you can handle this. Maybe it's somebody who's just below you on, you know, on the scale of the company. Maybe it's somebody that's like one of your charges. You're in charge, you're a manager, and this is kind of like somebody who's in your team, who's meant to be learning from you. And I get how stressed out you could be in that instance, but think about the way that you want to present yourself in this situation. You know what I mean? Do you want to go this way? And do you want to chew them out? Even though it's something that even though you know how they say there are no stupid questions. You know what I mean? Like, even though you may think like, oh, for God's sakes, they should know this by now. That's not necessarily the way that you need to approach this. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking that this is here. Take the higher path. Extend that knowledge. Extend that offer to them. And I think what would have been a difficult position had you have taken the other route turns into a learning experience, something that will bring about abundance. Even though it's difficult, even though there's a lot going on, and you can see on the face of this guy, like he's kind of like, oh God, like, you know what I mean? Jesus, that kind of thing. Jesus, take the wheel, kind of thing. Like, you can see that. It's right there in the card. Oh, sorry, I just hit the camera. Let me study that. We're good. Okay, but even though it's kind of like that energy right now, maybe it's just a really stressful time. This could even just be kind of like you with your kids, right? Like, maybe you're going through a lot. You've got a lot going on. Do you want to shout at them, or do you want to sit down and make it a learning lesson? You know what I mean? If you make this a learning lesson, if you take the right route, even though it may be painful to do so, take the right route. You'll land on your pentacles. Like, you'll land in abundance. Make that offer of knowledge to them. You'll land in abundance. That's what I'm seeing here. Temper yourself. The exchange of knowledge is what's coming across very clearly in this card. We all have something to offer. You know what I mean? And as a manager, it's really, okay, so I'll tell you something. A few years back, oh, sorry, I just hit the camera again. Sorry about that. But a few years back, I was working at a company, and I will always say that my manager at the time was brilliant. Like, he was savant kind of brilliant. And for me, what always shocked me about this individual was that no matter how busy he was, and this man was busy, he literally did not have a second to breathe. Okay? Like, He didn't have a second to breathe. If he wasn't on his laptop like this, he was out of the office, running to client sites, working with clients, working with people, training. I mean, at the time, he had hired a team of, like, he hired 4 of us. We were only a team of 5. It was right after COVID. One other person joined us a little bit later, but we all got fair treatment. And what I couldn't believe is that he had the time to do that. You know what I mean? And I really think that this is what this spread is calling you to be. It's calling you to step into your savant. What I couldn't believe, sorry, I'll go back to that because I didn't finish my thought. What I truly believed about him is that he was a savant, and that I couldn't believe how he was able to extend himself. At times, I felt nervous about approaching him with questions about the job, and I understood that I was learning, and for me I was just kind of like, okay, I should feel comfortable asking these questions because I'm learning. But sometimes you don't know how that's going to be received, and most times that's not received well in business, right? Because everybody's busy, everybody's under stress, and a lot of people don't handle it well. So when you come and you interrupt their flow, they're just like, oh God, what? You know what I mean? But one thing that I really appreciated about him was that it never happened like that. If he was in the middle of something, like, he would instantly stop. If he couldn't, he'd be like, give me 5 minutes and I will be right with you. But if he could stop in that moment, press pause on what he was doing, he literally shifted his attention. And you never walked away from an engagement with him without the information that you needed, and then some. He always turned it into a teachable moment. And I respected that so much. And I think that that's so important for somebody who's in a power position, to be able to extend themselves in that way, and to be able to take small moments and make them into a teachable moment. And I really think, like I mentioned earlier, that this is what your read is asking you to be. It's asking you to go in that higher direction and turn it into a teachable moment. Send them away. I know that this is necessary. This is kind of like seen more so as like a negative card, but firstly, I don't see any other energies here. And if I do, it's you, the way that you're coming across to them. That's what I see. And I know that this is primarily seen as kind of like a negative card, and people read this as somebody stealing from you and stuff like that, but that's not what I see for you. I think that once you take that higher road, you overcome those blockages, and you know that you might be feeling. Embrace your inner savant and move forward with your hand on the wand. You're going to send people away with knowledge. That's what I think this card is reading. And then in the end, you'll be reaping the rewards of that. One of the other things that I really loved about that manager as well is that he empowered us to be able to do our jobs. You know what I mean? Without him. And I also think that that's a really difficult thing for people to do. To empower the people around them. A lot of people like to lead. They think that the whole point of being in leadership is to lead. It is not just that. Like, it's having the power to know when to delegate, and it's having the power to empower the people who are in your team, who are learning from you, to be able to do more with their time. So not just learn their job to the level that you need them to be at, but empower them to see past that, to get to a point where they're comfortable doing their job, so that they can now create with the tools that you've given them. And I think once you've mastered that, you'll start reaping your abundance. That's what I think is going on here. It's a really positive spread. Really positive. But it depends on you. You are the main character in all of this. All right? So which direction are you going to go in? It's all up to you. Vibrate high. Higher frequencies. I'm going to shuffle off camera again. Oh. God, I'm so bad at shuffling. I'm so sorry, guys. So bad at shuffling. It's 2. It's this one. Okay, so here we go. This is my Goddess Oracle deck, and that's what I'm pulling from for you today, for 2 very specific messages for you. The first one that I think really resonates for you is Moon Ritual. I see things clearly and calmly, and I think that's what this is asking you to do. The first card, see things clearly and calmly. Her eyes are bound so that she can rely on her other senses to point the way. All right? So maybe like what you're being presented with, you need to approach from a higher perspective. See it clearly to move forward calmly. So I know I'm going to butcher this name. Isotra? Oh, I can't roll my R's either, so it probably just sounds awful. But it says, each new cycle of life brings hope and adventure. Yep. And that path there. Maybe you've been somebody who's been vibing low. Maybe you are like in a power position, and you've been seeing a negative response from your employees. And maybe this is asking you to take that route, take that new direction, and then you'll see, move forward with calmness and clarity, and then you'll see a more positive outcome. Yeah. The ripple effect. Remember that. The ripple effect. Very interesting. Very interesting read. Okay, that's all that I have for you, Taurus. I hope that you enjoyed this read. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. As I said before in the beginning, this is my first round of tarot readings that I've ever put out onto the YouTube scope. And I'm really interested to know what people think about it. I'm interested to know like if you resonate with the messages here. And just like interested in your thoughts. So please do comment as well. And if you feel that this is something that pertains more to somebody else's situation rather than yours, please share it with them. Let them know that there's a message here for them. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for allowing me to deliver these messages to you. Have a great day. Bye.